Hello everyone. So today I'm posting the third, but I think the most important part in my series on smartphone addiction. Prevention is better than cure. I'm sure you all agree with this. So it is very important that you decide together at what age your child can have the smartphone. But yes, if he already has it or if he's already addicted to it, no problem. You need to set the reset mode button. Easier said than done. Don't you agree with me? I think the first but most important step you need to decide upon is at what age your child gets the phone. If you ask me, not below 15 years. But again, the decision lies with you. What time of the day is he allowed or is she allowed to watch that phone? And how long are they allowed to watch? If you ask me, the best time as parents, as mothers, you would feel right after school is over, allow them to see for some time because it kind of relaxes them. They can chill out with the phone for some time, or after dinner, let them see it again for some time. But what's important here is, parents, once you take this decision as a family, you can discuss this with your kids. Important, you diligently stick to it. You do not listen to any arguments and debates. And yes, 10 p.m. sharp, the phones are shut down. And maybe if it's the teens, maybe 10:30, 11, after which the phones will not be allowed in their rooms. Second point in this contract would be, as a parent, I have a right to download certain apps in your phone that can help me check how much texting you're doing, how much mobile data you're using, internet, how much you're using, or what kind of movies you're seeing, or things like no texting during driving. So I have a right as a parent to do this. I have a right as parent to confiscate all your phones and keep them under my control at nights. And yes, most important, and I would say the last 2 points which I'm going to talk to you about is very important, parents. You need to sit down with your children before you give them the phone, or even after you've given them the phone. You need to talk to them about, caution them about not to reveal their names, their personal information and other things on the phone, on the internet. And yes, if they are being bullied or being abused, tell them to cut it off immediately. They need not be scared. They need not get addicted to that. They can feel free to come and talk to you about it and not be scared to tell you about it. This should be an open conversation between you and your child. Now I come to a very interesting part. Mark my words. Pay attention to it. You need to sign a contract with your kids. When I say with your kids, it's important you all sit together and sign this contract, whether written or unwritten. It would state that I, as a parent, have the right to access all your devices, whether it's your laptop, iPad, cell phone. I have a right to check your history. I have a right to know your password. I have a right to do random checks. Simply because, parents, I've heard often children coming to me and saying, I'm so irritated, how dare my father or my mother look into my phone. But as a parent, you have a right and you have to lay down that rule. Another very important clause in your contract would be the disciplinary action that you will take if your kid doesn't listen or follow these rules. And this is again agreed upon mutually. Number one, the first time he or she breaks the rule, you will sit down and discuss with him. You will talk to him or her how disappointed you are and what are your expectations from them when you have given them this privilege of using the smartphone. The second time they break the rule, talk to them again. Sit down and discuss with them, but maybe a little stronger measure like no video games for about 1 week. The third time he breaks the rule or she breaks the rule, you have a right to maybe confiscate the phone for maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You take a decision and maybe give them the dumb phone for that time period. When I talk about the dumb phone, is that phone which we used to use before, where we used to text and only call. Maybe that phone just to keep him in communication with you. And yes, the fourth time he breaks the rule, confiscate the phone, keep it with you, and you take a decision when you give it back to him. I think that is very important. These disciplinary actions and these rules have to be taken seriously so that the kids know it's not a game for them. There are two important tips I would like to tell you here. One is, when you say no, it's a no. It's a statement. It's not a word. No means there is no argument or debate in this. And in this particular no, I would like to say, let it be a 15-second rule to follow. That's an interesting thing, right? A 15-second rule is, when you decide to take some disciplinary action, you say it short, crisp, and to the point, and there is no argument about it. So during these times, it's a no when it comes to phone usage. Another important thing, create a phone-free zone, which means maybe dinner time, breakfast time, lunch time, maybe when you're watching a movie together, or maybe the family time. When I talk about the family time, let me spare a moment about this. Every weekend, it's very important that a whole family sits together and talks about the week. The goods, the ups and the downs. Even parents, you need to talk about it to your kids. Sensitize them to the fact that you also have problems and you do also go through solving them. Now, what is most important here is, how long can I allow my child to see the phone? If your child is between the age group 2 years to 6 years, maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour in a day. If he is between 6 to 12 years, maybe 1 hour during weekdays and maybe 1.5 to 2 hours on weekends. 12 to 16, again, I would say about 1 hour on weekdays and maybe 2 hours on the weekend. And 16 to 18, the crazy teens, maybe 1.5 hours on a weekday, maybe about 2.5 to 3 hours on a weekend. But I would still say no phones on the weekdays. Allow them to see it only on the weekends. That would help you. But for all this to be a success and problem-free and smooth, what is important is, we need to be role models. We need to walk the talk, which means if we tell our kids, don't you dare watch that phone during dinner time or while we're watching a movie and you're busy texting away, what does that tell the kid? I can take advantage of this. So be a role model and ensure that the whole family follows those rules together. A bit tough, but very important if you want your kid to come out of this phone addiction. So guys, if you find some good takeaway from this video, do press that like button or subscribe to my channel. I plan to come up with a few more other videos which could be of interest to you as a family. Looking forward to seeing you again. You take care and have a nice day, and God bless.